Good evening to all you people out there on Facebook land and also YouTube land and all the retired seniors that are just trying to keep busy and keep from getting bored. And I'd like to spend just a few minutes talking about what's happening in our legal system, referring to ICBC. ICBC is an insurance company that we pay for, and our tax dollars keeps that place going. And the sad part about it is, when there's a bunch of accidents out on the highway, it doesn't matter how they're caused. Anytime there's a vehicle repaired or somebody has been hurt in an accident, there's been a death or a serious injury, the price of the ICBC insurance goes up and up and up and up. It doesn't go down, it goes up all the time. So now there's a golden opportunity. If ICBC had some brains at the top end there, they'd be looking at the contractor and saying, look at, we've had so many accidents out here where people are sliding off the road because there's glare ice on the road and there's no sand. And they'd be looking at the contractor and saying, look at, you guys have got a job out there and all the contract specifications are all spelled out. So if we have an accident where some vehicle slides off the road and somebody is killed or there's a serious injury, and we're looking at a settlement, maybe $1 million or more dollars, maybe $10 million if there was a death involved, and they would turn around to the contractor and say, look at, we can see from the pictures on the site that there was no sand, and the contract specifications all called for sand and traction improver. So the insurance company is just sitting back there and spending your dollars like there was no tomorrow. So the result of that is the prices are going through the roof, the insurance costs will go through the roof. So people like you and I won't be able to drive pretty soon because insurance costs are going to be too high because the contractor is not following the contract specifications which are written for accident prevention. Now they're using this liquid calcium stuff on the road system, and at -6 it freezes. So if you think about this, if you want to make a skating rink in your backyard, the simple way to do it is just put some sand, put some water, a bunch of water out there, and when the temperature freezes, you get yourself a bunch of glare ice, and you skate on it. So you build a skating rink in your backyard, and you just freeze water. As soon as the water freezes, you got instant ice. And that's the same thing that happened on the curling rinks and skating rinks downtown. They put the freezing pipes in the bottom of the floor, in the area that they're covered, and the freezing goes through the pipes, put water on the surface, and the freezing solution in the pipe freezes, and all of a sudden you got beautiful ice for skating and for curling and all kinds of good things. But that ice is man-made. So now what's happening? They're doing the same thing on the highway, exactly. So what's happening? Let's take a look at a 24-hour shift. Now, if you've got a sand truck working 24-hour shifts, you'd have 3 operators, and the thing would run 24/7. That means to say every hour of the day there'd be a sand truck out there available to sprinkle sand, put sand on the highway. So they'd be out there to plow snow, and then when you have a slippery surface, they put sand out. So what they do now, you have a single shift running, and they sprinkle this liquid de-icer out there to melt the snow down. So what happens, that melts the snow down, then the temperature drops in the evening, so at -6, your whole road system now is skating rink from end to end, right across British Columbia. And we're having semi-trailers upside down in the road, in the ditches, cars upside down, people being killed, and ICBC are just sitting there laughing, spending your money and my money. So pretty soon the price of insurance goes up and up and up and up and up, and pretty soon you're supposed to have a good driving record, but your cost of insurance is going to go through the roof because I have to pay for all these accidents. So the idea about accident prevention in the highways operation, we always had sand out there. Plow the snow off the road. We'd start on October the 1st to March the 31st. We'd plow and sand the roads. Put salt out on the corners and the curbs and hills, and then put sand out. And now they're trying to say, oh no, it's all the drivers, it's a bad driver. Well, excuse me, if you're out on a glare ice on the road and the road is tapered to the right a little bit, Even if you stop a vehicle on the side of the highway, the tires are warm on the vehicle, and it's going to slide in the ditch. What happens? Gravity does that. So the vehicle will slide to the lowest point on the highway, and if that happens to be in the ditch, that's where the vehicle is going to wind up. And yes, I can agree that we have to slow down when the roads are bad, but if you're going to have a glare ice road, that's totally backwards to all accident prevention thinking. And ICBC better give their heads a shake because they're wasting our money, taxpayer money, and they better smarten up and get involved with the contractor and say, look, we've had enough of these accidents. We're trying to control the cost of accidents, and now you're just ignoring the need for sand on the highway. So every time we have an accident and we find a picture that there's no sand on site and the root cause of the accident was glare ice, we're not going to blame it on the driver anymore because drivers are not trained. You can't train a driver to go on glare ice. Yes, ice chains are good, but if the highway was sanded properly, you wouldn't have a problem. So our road maintenance, the standards have gone all to pieces. Nobody gives a damn anymore, and we don't care about human life. Doesn't mean anything anymore. And the cost of vehicle repair, it doesn't matter how much it's going to cost. Whether we need a new semi-trailer and a semi-trailer and a truck, a couple $100,000, maybe $300,000 or $400,000. Well, just write it off and we buy a new one. All attributable to glare ice. So I want you to think about that a little bit and start to write some letters to ICBC and start to raise some hell with the highways minister, the highways manager, and the contract manager in your area. Don't put up with that kind of crap. One of these days, some family member of your family is going to be killed or crippled forever, or some good friend of yours, all because these guys didn't pay attention to keeping the road in good shape. And they have a contract to do that, and there's contract rules written. But the highways manager sits on his hands, does nothing. They have inspectors going out there, and they're writing up non-conformance reports, but you can't plow snow or you can't put sand out with a piece of paper. It's got to be done with a vehicle. It's got to be done with a snowplow truck and a snowplow, and it's got to be put out there with a sander to sprinkle sand on. That's an accident prevention tool. So accident prevention has gone out the window along with a lot of your money. So I want you to think about that and see if you can get mad enough to get 4 or 5 guys or maybe 10 to go down to the local highways office and contractor's office and rave supreme hell about it. Don't put up with it. Because sure as hell somebody in your family or somebody you know, a good friend of yours or maybe a family member, is going to get killed. And it's sad, but it's going to happen. And we're going to have to kill a whole bunch of people. There's going to have to be a busload of people that's going to have to be upset, and there's going to be a bunch of people lose their lives before somebody will just take the bull by the horns. So I'm inviting you to get involved. So have yourself a great day and get totally fed up and start beating on the drum. Have a great day.